54. By all the limitless and sacred merit obtained through this meditation and recitation, may all beings drowning in the river of suffering attain the supreme state of Amitabha. Hong Shrim, all-pervasive Dharmakaya, protector Amitabha, Sambhogakayas, the loving assembly of Bodhisattvas, and Nirmanakayas, the gathering of Shravakas and Arhats, together with your retinues, please endow all beings with the auspiciousness to progress to Sukhavati.
In the English text, the binding, there's a mistake. So once after you're done with 33, page 33, you flip 2 pages back to 34, and then come back to 35 and 36 and 37. Sorry about that. So that's a bit tricky there.
So we are starting on page 2. And my home, in the direction of the setting sun, beyond innumerable worlds, slightly elevated, is the land of the noble beings, the perfectly pure celestial realm Sukhavati. It is not visible to ordinary eyesight, but clearly visible to a mind endowed with pure vision. In that realm resides the Bhagavan Jina Amitabha of ruby-red color in a dazzling brilliance. He has all the 32 marks of superiority and 80 perfections, the crest protrusion on his head and the wheels on his feet and all the rest. He has a single face and 2 hands in contemplation mudra, holding an alms bowl, and he is robed in the 3 Dharma robes. He is seated in Vajra posture on a 1,000-petaled lotus with a moon seat, and behind his back is a Bodhi tree. By his compassionate eyes he beholds me from afar. On his right side is the Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara of white color, holding in his left hand a white lotus, and on his left Bodhisattva Vajrapani of blue color, holding in his left hand a Vajra-marked lotus. Both of them have their right hand extended toward me in the refuge-bestowing mudra. These 3 chief deities appear in splendor like Sumeru, towering, immovable, and indestructible. Surrounding them are millions and milliards of bodhisattva mendicants, all of golden complexion, adorned by the marks of perfection, and robed in the 3 Dharma robes of bright yellow color. Since they do not discriminate between devotion from near and from afar, I prostrate devotedly by my 3 gates right here. As I recognize the Dharmakaya Amitabha as lineage Buddha, from his right hand radiates light, becoming his emanation Avalokiteshvara, and further becoming 1,000 million secondary Avalokiteshvara emanations. From his left hand radiates light, becoming his emanation Tara, and further becoming 1,000 million secondary Tara emanations. And from his heart radiates light, becoming his emanation Padmasambhava, and further becoming 1,000 million secondary Padmasambhava emanations. I prostrate to the Dharmakaya Amitabha. During the 6 periods of day and night, his Buddha eye continuously beholds all beings with affection. He always knows whichever thoughts arise in the mind of every single sentient being, and he always hears distinctly and without confusion whichever words are spoken by every single sentient being. I prostrate to the all-knowing Amitabha. It is declared that anyone except one who has committed the 5 inexpiable Dharma abandonments, who offer this aspiration with faith, by offering this aspiration to be reborn in Sukhavati, they will at the time they enter the bardo be drawn toward that realm. I prostrate to the guide Amitabha. It is declared that Amitabha's vitality will remain for countless aeons without passing beyond suffering, and just now appears openly, and anyone who supplicates with single-pointed devotion will obtain the power over life exhaustion except for already ripened tendencies, and the ability to live for 100 years. and he will be protected against all untimely death. I prostrate to the protector Amitabha. It is declared that even if one could fill all of 1,000,000 worlds countless myriads of times with jewels and give away as gifts, hearing but once the name of Amitabha and Sukhavati, and joining the palms in faith would have greater merit. Therefore I prostrate devotedly to Amitabha. Whomsoever, on hearing the name of Amitabha, develops uncontrived devotion from the depths of his heart and bones just once, he will never be repelled from the Bodhi path. I prostrate to the protector Amitabha. Who even hears the name of Buddha Amitabha will, until his heart is awakened, always be born in a superior family and never as a woman, and he will in all lifetimes be endowed with pure morality. I prostrate to the Sugata Amitabha, my body, my wealth, the root of my virtue, and whichever offerings I can imagine, of material wealth as well as mental creation, the 8 auspicious objects, 8 auspicious signs, and 7 royal attributes, the 10,000 million evolvements of Mount Meru, the 4 continents and sun and moon, as they appear in the primordial creation of 1,000 million worlds, all wealth of devas, nagas, and human beings, everything my mind holds on to, this I offer to Amitabha. In your compassion, please accept it for my benefit. All the non-virtuous deeds which I have committed by myself and other beings, by all sentient beings headed by my father and mother, from beginningless time until now, killing, stealing, and impure conduct, the 3 non-virtues of the body, I now confess. Lying, slandering, rough speech, and gossip, the 4 non-virtues of speech, I now confess. Covetousness, malice, and holding wrong view, the 3 non-virtues of mind, I now confess. Killing one's father, one's mother, one's teacher, or an arhat, and intending to cause harm to the body of a jina, all accumulated tendencies toward these 5 inexpiable deeds, I now confess. Killing a monk or a nun, seducing a chaste woman, destroying a statue or stupa or a temple, and so on. All faults pertaining to such almost inexpiable deeds I now confess. Swearing by the refuge, the temple, or the scriptures, and similar deeds, all accumulation of such bad tendencies towards dharma abandonment I now confess. Abusing bodhisattvas, a fault more severe than killing all sentient beings in the 3 worlds, all accumulation of such purposeless great faults I now confess. Having heard about the benefit resulting from virtue and the suffering resulting from non-virtue, and about being sentenced to all the suffering of the hells, but believe this to be without truth, and having accumulated the bad tendency of the evil of the 5 inexpiable deeds, all such accumulation of bad tendencies which cannot be liberated, now I confess. Breaking the Vinaya code through the 4 inexpiable deeds, or the 13 very bad transgressions, or indulging in the 5 kinds of defilement, or making mistakes concerning the rules of Vinaya, all this I now confess. Falling into the 4 black activities, or violating the 5 or 8 vows, and damaging the Bodhisattva's disciplines, all this I now confess. Spoiling the 14 root vows and 8 branch vows of the Vajrayana, I now confess. The vows I have failed to take, and the unvirtuous deeds I have committed, my impure conduct, and my enjoyment of wine, and so on, all the faults which cannot be clearly described, and all the faults I cannot recognize as faults, I now confess. Having taken refuge vows or empowerments without knowing how to keep the commitment precepts, and subsequently having fallen from them, this I now confess. As confession without repentance is incomplete, I now confess all my previous faults from their depth. Like having eaten poison, I confess with shame and fear and great repentance. As confession without taking further commitment is incomplete, I commit myself from now on to abstain from killing and all such non-virtuous deeds, even at the cost of my life. By the blessing of the Sugata Amitabha and his sons, may I now be completely purified, to develop heartfelt joy when one hears about the virtuous deeds done by others, and to abandon the non-virtue of jealousy toward them is declared to be a source of merit. Therefore I rejoice in all virtue performed by noble beings as well as ordinary beings. I rejoice in all the many deeds for the benefit of sentient beings, which are performed out of the generation of the highest Bodhi mind. I rejoice in the reversal of the 10 non-virtues into the 10 virtues, saving others' life, giving in charity, and keeping one's commitment, speaking the truth, reconciling conflicts, speaking gently and straightforward, and speaking only what is meaningful, having small desire, meditating on loving kindness and compassion, and practicing Dharma activity. All these virtues I rejoice. I join all accomplished Buddhas of all the myriad worlds of the 10 directions. Please turn without delay the wheel of Dharma, extensively as well as expediently. And by your super faculties, please reveal for all beings their purpose. I supplicate all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Dharma upholders, and spiritual friends intending to pass beyond suffering. Please do not pass beyond, but remain in this world. My virtue accumulated by this devotion and all virtue of the 3 times I dedicate to benefit sentient beings. May all beings quickly obtain the highest enlightenment, and may the samsara of the 3 worlds be turned from its depth. May this virtue quickly ripen from me, so that the 18 kinds of untimely death may not affect me. May I remain free from disease, and may my body have the strength of adolescence. May my splendor never be exhausted, but remain as abundant as the river Ganga in the rainy season. May I perform the activities of the liberating Dharma without being endangered by hostile beings. May all intentions I have in mind be completely fulfilled in a Dharma way. May I accomplish great benefits for the exposition of the Dharma and for all beings. May I accomplish the purpose of this human existence. The moment I and all who are attached to me pass on from this life, may the emanation Buddha Amitabha, surrounded by his mendicant Sangha, appear openly before us. Content with the joy of beholding him, may we not experience the suffering of death. May the 8 Bodhisattva brothers miraculously appear in the sky before us, and by their knowledge of the path to Sukhavati, may they guide us along that path. The suffering of the lower realms is unbearable, and the happiness of gods and men is impermanent. May this cause fear to arise in me. Samsara has endured from beginningless time until now. May this cause sadness to arise in me. Even transmigrating from human life to human life, enjoying the best of all births, one must undergo countless times of birth, old age, and death. This evil age is affected by impurities and obstacles. The happiness and contentment of even human beings and gods is like food mixed with poison. May I be without even the slightest desire for this. All relatives, food, wealth, and companions are illusory like a dream. May I be without even the slightest desire for this. All countries, places, and homes are like the lands and homes of a dream. May I recognize their lack of reality. To attain the pure realm of Sukhavati from the inescapable ocean of samsara is like being liberated from a prison of great evil. May I not look back towards samsara. To cut all snares of attachment is like a vulture being liberated from a net. May I thus fly away toward the western sky. In an instant, having traveled beyond immeasurable universes, may I reach the realm of Sukhavati. There may I openly behold the face of Buddha Amitabha, and may all my veils be purified. May I take the superior of the 4 modes of birth, the miraculous birth from the heart of a lotus flower. May I instantly obtain a perfect body, endowed with all marks and perfections. For those who have doubt or hesitation here in this life, the flower will not open for 500 years, and they will have to remain within, fully enjoying all bliss and contentment and hearing his Buddha speech, but unable to behold his Buddha face. May I not develop this fault. May my flower open instantly upon my birth, and may I behold the face of Buddha Amitabha. By the power of my merit and magic ability, may offering clouds surpassing all imagination emanate from my hands as offering to Buddha Amitabha and his retinue. At that moment, may the Tathagata stretch out his hand and touch my head and bestow my enlightened prophecy. By listening to his deep and extensive Dharma teachings, may my nature be ripened and liberated. May Avalokiteshvara and Vajrapani, the two principal bodhisattvas, accept me into their blessing. Each day, as innumerable Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions approach the Buddha Amitabha to make offerings and to behold his realm, may I, through appropriation of all these, obtain their Dharma nectar. By unhindered projection, one can reach the realm of Akanishta and Ratnakuta, Purana and Dumatala. May I every moment proceed to visit these realms, meet the Buddha Akshobhya and Ratnasambhava, Amoghasiddhi and Vairocana, obtain empowerments and blessings, take vows and make many offerings, and then by the evening return without effort or difficulty to Sukhavati. May I proceed to Potala, Alakavati, Kurava and Orgyan, the 1,000 million realms of the 1,000 million emanations of Avalokiteshvara and Tara, Vajrapani and Padmasambhava, meet them and make oceans of offerings, obtain empowerments and request profound teachings, and quickly and without difficulty return to my own place, Sukhavati. With my supervision, may I clearly behold those close friends and students I have left behind, grant them protection and blessings, and lead them toward this realm at the time of their death. The duration of this whole fortunate aeon is in Sukhavati like a single day, and for innumerable aeons there is no death. May I enter this realm for all times, from Buddha Maitreya until Buddha Murba. When during this fortunate aeon the Buddhas appear in this world, may I miraculously proceed there, make offerings and listen to their liberating Dharma, and then again without difficulty return to Sukhavati. All the qualities of the 81 Buddha realms of all the 100,000 million Buddhas are joined in Sukhavati. Thus it is unsurpassed, the most noble of all celestial realms. May I be reborn in this blissful realm. There the jewel ground is as smooth as the palm of the hand. It is spacious and radiant with beams of light. When it is pressed down, it gives way, and when it is lifted up, it rises. May I be reborn in this lofty realm of gentle happiness. There the wish-fulfilling dreams abound, of different precious materials, with leaves of brocade and fruits of jewel ornaments. Flocks of emanation birds are perched on them, singing the teachings of the deep and extensive Dharma. May I be reborn in this realm of great wonder. There the rivers with perfumed water have the 8 qualities, and the nectar water of the bathing ponds have the same qualities. The bathing stairs are tiled with the 7 precious stones, and the waters abound with lotus flowers yielding fragrant fruits. The lotus blossoms radiate light beyond. So then we need to 34, 2 pages. And each beam is on its point adorned with an emanation Buddha. May I be reborn in this realm of greatest marvels. There the 8 unfavorable conditions and the misery of the lower realms is unheard of. The 3 or 5 emotional poisons, diseases, demons, enemies, paupers, fights and quarrel, and so on. All such suffering is unheard of. May I be reborn in this realm of great bliss. There no women abide, and nobody is born from a womb. All are born from out of a lotus flower. All have faultless bodies of golden complexion, adorned with the crown protrusion, and so on. All the marks and perfections, and all possess the 5 super faculties and 5 eyes. May I be reborn in this realm of countless qualities. There palaces made of various precious materials arise by themselves. All desirable enjoyments arise by the thought power of mind. No exertion is necessary. All deeds are spontaneously fulfilled. There is no distinction between you and me, because there is no selfishness. Whatever one arises on